What's up, YouTube? Knight's Edge here again. Got another little quick review for, well, probably not quick. I got a nice review for you from none other than Mr. Eddie. Thanks to Mr. Eddie for loaning me this knife. Before I get into it, y'all hit the like button if you like the content. Subscribe if you want more of it. That would be really cool. I appreciate all my subscribers, Patreons, channel members, everybody else. You guys are awesome. The whole community, man, really good. This one we got today is a pretty special one. This is the very first integral knife that I've had on the channel. And since it's a very first integral knife, it's actually the second review. I've reviewed this one before, but I deleted the video and mistakenly placed the Holt video, I believe it was, in its place with the thumbnail. Total screw up on my part, but trying to get a video out every day, and between work and everything else going on, that kind of was something that, you know, happened, and apologize for that. But this is the second review, so maybe it'll be a little better than the first one that nobody will ever see. This is the Machinewise Sonora. Look at that, man. Get a nice close-up of it, all the little details. Integral knife, beautiful knife. Super awesome machining on this one. Very much above my pay grade right now. So big shout out to Mr. Eddie for letting me borrow this. But man, look at that. Absolutely beautiful knife. We're going to talk all about it. Let me go ahead and get through the specs for everyone. So the Machinewise Sonora. Oh, before I get into the specs, let me tell you a little bit about Machinewise. They are a small business founded in 2021, based in Phoenix, Arizona, specializing in expertly crafted balisongs. So that's coming from their website. The guy kind of ventured out into folders. This is his first folder design, and that's pretty crazy to me for your first folder design to knock it out the park like this with something of this caliber is insane. You got right at 7 3/4 overall length. On the blade itself, you're sitting right at 3.5 inches if you go all the way back to the handle there. And on the cutting edge, let's see what we got on cutting edge. You're looking at 3 3/8 on the cutting edge right there. Measure it this way, it's 3.5 because of that belly, right? Get the calibers out here. So I reviewed this one before, and nobody will ever see it, but trying to live up to my first review, hopefully. 124 thousandths on the thickest part of the spine. Going back behind the edge there, you got, yeah, let's see, right, let's go right up here. 22 thousandths right there. Handle thickness, the integral handle thickness, you're looking at 395 thousandths roughly. Go ahead and do some size comparisons. Let's start out with our regulars here. That's the Ontario Knives Rat Model 2 and the Ontario Knives Rat Model 1. Kind of right in between, but you look at the cutting edge, you're looking at right at the same, maybe a little more with that upsweeping towards the end. A little more cutting edge than the Rat 1 probably, which is pretty good. They did pretty good on the blade and handle ratio on this one, in my humble amateur opinion. Spyderco Paramilitary 2 and your Spyderco Knives pair of 3, kind of right in between again. But again, the Paramilitary 2 much is a good little bit longer overall than the Machinewise Sonora, but the Machinewise again trumps it with cutting edge. Last but not least, well, second to last set, I guess, that's your Cold Steel Knives 8010 and your Demco Knives 8020.5 slicer. Very close in overall length to the 8020.5 slicer, with much more cutting edge. The Demco Knives 80 10. And a little more cutting edge than the Machinewise, but it is a lot larger, bulkier, I should say, of a knife. Now, compare it to some more knives in the same tax bracket, right? These are the knives that Tiger Woods would carry in his pocket to the golf course. These are the knives that, you know, you would carry to a $500 dinner and not think twice about it because you're rich and you drive a Lamborghini. I'm just kidding, Mr. Eddie. This is a Grimsmo Norseman, right? All of these, by the way, are Mr. Eddie's knives. Let's listen again to that. That's the Dragonfly, man. That acoustic on the Dragonfly is crazy to me. Dragonfly, of course, much larger overall. Grimsmo Norseman, much larger overall. Let's compare it to one more fancy pants knives here. Put up the Norseman and the Holt Morpheus. American made. All in-house, small batch. Kind of explains the price tag on this guy. A little bit longer overall than the Morpheus. The cutting edge, got a little more cutting edge than Morpheus too. The Morpheus also, if you look at my review, that I think when you're seeing this, let's see, when will maybe, I think I'm gonna post this Friday, so you will have already seen my review of the Holt Knives Morpheus, but very comparable in size for sure, and great quality with both. All right, so let's go ahead and get a weight on this guy. I can't remember what the weight was whenever I originally did the video. I'm going to guess probably 3.5 ounces. Or feels about right, about 3.5 ounces. 3.4, pretty close. Closer than I usually am. Yep, 3.4. Go ahead and turn the scale off here. Let's get out the blue jeans. Let's see how this pocket clip goes in here. This is one of my favorite pocket clips, man. It's nearly deep carry. I mean, it is deep carry, right? It's got a little bit sticking out there, but it goes in and out really good, man. No issues at all with the pocket clip. And the pocket clip is also super milled, contoured on the ends there. No sharp edges at all anywhere on this thing. We'll talk about that in just a second whenever we get into my opinion on ergonomics and aesthetics. Let's go ahead and do the final spec. All right, this is going to be the final spec, the final measurement, as it were. So this actually, before I look at this, just look at it. This is the packaging this thing comes with. Machinewise Sonora. Alright, and this is going to feed into the spec too, by the way. Machinewise, no corners cut, pivots, torque 3Nm, factory specifications, properly retort for factory specifications. Sorry about that. During assembly and reassembly, take care to note / maintain washer facing and side edge angle. Sonora 20 degrees, balisongs 27 degrees. You can read that if you want. Knife to meet you, Phoenix, Arizona. Under the cap on this package that it comes in, Machinewise model number Sonora number 15. This is the 15th Sonora ever made, which is pretty cool. That's a really low number. Date of birth 2/20/24, so born in February of this year when I'm putting this out. Magna cut 63 HRC plus or minus 1, which is pretty good. You know, it's kind of right around where you want your Magna cut at. Really nice something to include the HRC. Handle material, titanium, 6AL4V, pattern, fine step over, final QC, check MB and GH. Pretty cool they put that in there. Right? And this knife kind of exemplifies everything you'd expect of a knife of this quality. Right there, little brass coin. This was your bolster. I'm pretty sure, let me get the magnet out here, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, that is brass, is it? Yeah. Brass is non-magnetic, but titanium, titanium is, no, that's brass. I think that's brass. Pretty sure it's brass, unless it's, kind of sticking to the blade itself. Not sure on that. Let me know what you think in the comments. What do you know about this knife? Watching this video, is that indeed brass? I think it's brass. I want to know what you guys know or think. If you have any experience with this knife at all. So, going back to the hardware check, as you saw in there, you got your little, let me flip it back around here. Got your little Torx bit that comes with it. It's a Weehaw T15. A little bit of lube, space for the knife, card underneath mounted. That's pretty cool. Pretty good package overall. I should have done packaging from the beginning, I guess, but yeah, I don't ever follow I try to stay as uniform as I can with these reviews. Whenever I do a review, I like to do size comparison, weight, you know, caliber, everything kind of in a certain order, just so it's kind of consistent, I guess. But I do defer time to time. I kind of differ every now and then. So your only hardware on here is your pivot, right? That's captive, obviously, which is awesome. T15 there. Look right here, T15. If you want to pull the pocket clip, remove the pocket clip. All you got to do is unscrew this, pull it out. And I'm pretty sure it is ambidextrous, right? So if you take a T15, take this clip off, mount it this way, then you'll have the same experience as you would the other way. It is an ambidextrous lock, so if I'm left-handing it, I can grab it like this. No issues there. If you choke up, maybe if you get all the way on the blade, maybe you could choke up and mash that button somehow on accident. I don't think so. It's very unlikely. You know, choke back like this, it's perfectly fine, which feeds into my next section of this review, I guess, which is ergonomics. Ergonomics on this thing is awesome. You're fully locked in there. This is contoured very well. Your index finger fits perfectly fine here. I wear a large size glove, have an average size hand. One thing that I don't like about flippers usually is the fact that once you flip it, this becomes a finger guard and gets in the way. But the way that they've kind of angled this down, right, is perfect to me anyway. It is just fine. No jimping on the spine, as you may have noticed. But if you look at the spine, get a good close-up look at it. Look how contoured that is. That's some really nice chamfering, contouring, whatever you want to call it. That is very, very nice. Everything ergonomically and aesthetically about this knife is nice. There's no corners cut. It is very well the edge, there's no sharp edges there. It's contoured well there. You know, this is smoothed out very well. You know, there is nothing anywhere on this thing up into including the clip. You know, if you look down, you can see it there. That's contoured going down there. That's contoured going down there. There's nothing on this knife that kind of you know, says that they cut corners, which they didn't on this one. So that's ergonomics, and I guess aesthetics too, right? Ergonomically, it's perfectly fine, fully locked in there. Feels really great there. If I'm cutting with this thing, I'm probably cutting like this, maybe like this, but no issues at all in either case. The action on this thing, man, the action is awesome. As I fail to flip it, the action is really smooth. It's a plunge lock, right? You can see right there. So whenever you push this down, that blade goes shut and it locks it in. No weak detent at all. Nothing. I mean, that thing is solidly locked in. It's just fun to flip. I mean, this is a fun knife to flip. The only time that you're ever failing this knife really is if you're not trying. You know, no wrist at all involved with flicking this knife open. Very light switch motion right there. The flipper tab itself, going back to the ergonomics of it, I guess, is very well smoothed out. It's a very low profile flipper tab for a flipper knife. Yeah, so that's pretty awesome. That inlay is pretty cool. So if you're taking this thing apart, there's no two handles there. This is all one single piece of titanium, which is really cool, I think. It's very expensive and takes a lot of time and effort to mill this out of one single piece. So you don't have, as a sandwich construction knife, like a lot of knives are, piece and piece, you know, one piece and one piece screwed together. You don't see that anywhere on here. There's no body hardware because there is no need for body hardware. This is all one single piece. Really cool. This is a small batch American made knife. As I said earlier, titanium on the handle, probably brass there. If you know otherwise, please let me know. And Magna Cut with your HRC heat treatment in the box. Pretty cool, man. This is an awesome little knife. I would very highly recommend this. I'm glad you guys are watching this still. If you're still watching this video, let me know, man. Let me know in the comments if you made it this far. We're roughly 16.5 minutes in or so, almost. People that watch videos this far of mine, I really appreciate you guys. Definitely means a lot to me for you to sit there and listen to me ramble about an out of my class knife for that long. So pretty cool. That edge grind right there, that bevel, and man, that is so sweet. Very, very nice all around. Just a class act of a knife. The only billboard on the blade, which you can't really call it that, but the only markings anywhere on the blade is your number 15 right there. And it's completely sterile on this side, so that's pretty cool. They did put the Machinewise logo on that spine, which you do have the option to do a lot easier with an integral knife. Is how it's one piece of titanium. All right. Lockup seems pretty solid. I'm not going to spine whack Mr. Eddie's $650 knife. This is a $650 knife, by the way. It's an integral Magna Cut bladed, USA made, small batch button lock. So I would say it is definitely worth the money. If you are shopping in that price bracket, if you've got the money to spend on something like this and you choose to get this one, you won't be let down. This is a really awesome knife, and I really appreciate Mr. Eddie letting me borrow this awesome knife. Matter of fact, I'm about to box it up and send it home. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I appreciate everyone that watches my videos. Hit the like button if you like the content. Subscribe if you want more of it. Man, I can't get over that action. That's pretty nice. That is nice. Anyway, subscribe if you want more content like this. Listen to me ramble more and more about crazy nice knives. I really appreciate it, Mr. Eddie. I appreciate all my viewers. Until next time, you guys stay sharp.